Yes, we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., President, Founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, Certified Financial Planner, Certified Tax Coach. Joining me live here on a wonderful Saturday morning is my co host, my brother from another mother, the famous legend,
Stop,
James
Rob.
T. from Hot 105 himself. How you doing, Mr. James T?
I'm doing fine. I'm just James T.
Nah,
I'm
man,
I'm
you the
I'm
living
Be-
legend.
I'm Bessie. Oh wow, I got something to share with you off
We
mic. Remind me to share something with you when we close out today. But anyway, Rob, it's always a pleasure. But I'm like Les Brown says. I'm Bessie Thomas' grandson, Carrie Lockett Jones' son. That's all, Rob. Hey, we
Ah,
still
James.
we still growing, Rob. We're still growing.
James, let me tell you something. South Florida and all over the country, they know who James T is, boy. You can't even talk about Miami when it comes to entertainment and music without mentioning James T. Boy, last 50 years, man. They jocks come, entertainers come to you, they stop by the station. Man, they say,
Rob.
where's James T? Where's
Okay,
James
okay.
T?
I'm gonna go with it, Rob, because I did get I don't know if it was an email or a text today. A gentleman said he went to visit his family in Jamaica, and I guess one of his friends or members, or they went to a club. He
Uh-huh.
said, "And James T, I knew you were known, but they had your picture up in the club in Jamaica.
Wow.
In Jamaica." And
Oh, he should have took a picture of that
he
picture.
did. He did. Rob, he sent me the picture.
What?
He literally sent me the picture. And then here's another one since you bring that up. It's
I ain't
so
lying. I'm telling the truth.
it's Women's Month or celebrating Women Month. Okay, so ladies, we're celebrating you. So many of you, and all week I've been asking people on the radio show to name 3 women that they would like to celebrate. And maybe we should do that to our listeners today as well. And
Yes.
so, and I started off with my grandmother, Bessie Thomas, and my mother, Carrie Lockett Jones. And then there was a teacher, man, that lived to be 99 years old, and Mrs. Juanita Gardner. You
Oh
know,
man.
yeah, somebody who has impact on your life, somebody who goes beyond. And I lived with my grandmother in the country. They called it the country. Hey, but now, man, nowhere is country now because anywhere there's bare land, they're building. But anyway, she and her family would literally ride out miles from their home to pick me up, to take me to study if I was in a spelling bee or any contest, any contest that I would be participating in, representing our school, junior high school. They would come out. So I celebrate people like that, and there's others, Miss Clyde Spencer Richardson. Man, if we really look back over our lives, and usually it starts with mom or grandma.
Yes.
These are people who make the ultimate sacrifice for us, Rob. You tell the story of how your mother said, "Hey, we leaving in Junior. Are you going with me? Or you staying with your daddy?" And you made the right choice, Rob,
I made
didn't
the
you?
right choice. I was 6 years old, but I had
Yeah.
enough sense to say I know who to pick.
Okay. Well, here's another one. So I saw on CBS where Mary J. Blige is honoring women in New York City with a major concert on the Mother's Day weekend. And when I saw that, I was reminded, Robert, how I introduced Mary J. to radio and records at an Impact conference in Atlantic City, New Jersey. But
Wow.
but the lady who chose me to do that was Martha Thomas Fry. So I called her up and I had her on the radio. And she texted me last night and she said, "James T, I didn't know why I was getting all these messages because I went to work early before I went on the air. At 9 o'clock, she went in at 9. And she said, when I got off, I get all these messages coming from people about you talked about me on the radio. And man, it was just an honor to give tribute to this lady who lived in Fort Lauderdale, who started out as a regular record rep and became second in charge for, as they call it, black music at that time, for MCA Records. under a gentleman by the name of A.D. Washington. So she was able, because she was from Fort Lauderdale, to bring so many of these artists into our market, where I happened to work in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. And then when we were at the conference, she said, I want you to bring on Mary J. at the conference to introduce her to radio records and the many announcers and talent that was there. And I told her I just wanted to
What was
thank
that,
her
like
for
30
that.
years ago? Was it like 30
Oh
years?
my goodness. I can't even remember the year, Robert, because I've been in the business so long. But Martha, it had to be way back when,
Yeah,
because
it was before
Mary
the
J.
year 2000.
Mary J. was actually Mary J. Blige. She, because I asked my first question with Martha was, I said, "Were they teenagers?" She said, "Barely." Because they had been out on Mary had been out on the road with Jodeci, a group called Jodeci at the time, who became popular, of course.
Right.
And they were trying to get her name out there because Mary J. was on Uptown Records. She was signed to Uptown Records, but Uptown was also being promoted and distributed by MCA. And man, we have such rich history. And before we went on the air, you and I were talking about uh, how Miles Monroe, I study him, if not daily, almost daily. And he talks about, Rob, some of the richest area in almost every city is the graveyard. He said their books should have been written, businesses should have been up. I mean, hey, people are buried with ideas and with opportunities that they did not execute.
Yes. Yes. A lot of talent. A lot of talent. A lot of unused ideas
Hmm.
uh, and gifts die without ever, you know, coming to
Fruition.
realization.
Hmm.
Yeah. Never coming to this realm. I mean, a lot of people have thoughts and ideas, but just never pursue them, and that actually never see them through. Never, never, like I say, birth them. Never birth them. Just let them die out.
And what Miles said, he was speaking, I think, in Baltimore or somewhere, and he said, "I want to ask you something." He said, "What idea did you always have that you never pursued?" you know, because we were taught, go to school, get an education, get a job. But who said, "What are you dreaming? What have you ever asked yourself, who am I? Why was I, where did I come from? Why was I created? What's my purpose?" We don't get there, Rob. And if we get there, we think that we got there late. But Miles said in his speech, he said, you know something? He said God didn't use Abraham until he was 75, and he told him to leave from where he was and go someplace where he he knew not where he was going. He just said,
Isn't that something?
and then when he got there with his nephew or whoever, Lot, he told him, he said, "Hey, I see we can't make it together. So now
At
you
age
choose."
75.
Right. At age 75, he said, "Now you choose which way you want to go, and I'll go the other way. I'll go the opposite way." And look what happened. Look how God used him. So I want to say we have fallen for this saying that, everybody says, "Oh, you must retire at," what is it now? 70 or 65 or what what
Well, a
what,
lot of people
what is it?
retiring at 62, or
Oh,
60 years
62.
old.
Okay, okay.
55. People retiring at 55. People, I mean, it's a race. If you can, I guess it's bragging right if you can retire early. If you can retire at 45 or 50, you're bragging about it.
But
Think-
who planted that seed in us, Rob? That we had to stop producing or stop creating at a certain age.
I don't. It just goes. It's just in the air, so to speak. It's culture. It's a lot of people. Brag about it. They're retired. They're done. And there's a lot of people that shouldn't be done because financially they're not able to be done. And just because they say they're at a certain age, then they say they're done. And it's your life, and you don't want to retire and then struggle. Some people, the most money they ever made in their life is during their working years. And then when you say, okay, I'm going to retire, not because you hate the job or not because you have to. A lot of times they say, hey, I'm 65 years old. I just read some data that uh 70% of people that retired at the age of 65 are going back to work. Why? Because some of them need the money. A good portion of them need the money because the cost of living, food and gas and everything is going up. It's not going down. The longer you live, the more money you need, not the less money you need. So, you got to be careful when you get ready to retire. You got to make sure that you have enough to coast on your remaining years, that you can take care of yourself. And a lot of people just don't know how to do that. I spend a lot of time working with people, examining and creating a retirement plan, because a lot of people just want to jump in the water without a float. You got to have a float, man. You got to be able to, otherwise you're going to sink. In other words, you just want to retire and you don't know how how you're going to survive. You probably figure you got enough, $200,000 just to retire. That's not enough, especially, if you're less than 70 years old. You could easily go another 15, 20 years, if not 30 years of price increases and just the cost of living. I mean, the property taxes and homeowners insurance, and then there's just the medical cost itself. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
And just food and shelter.
That's why it's so important, man. I know people saying, "Oh, I don't want to vote. I don't want to do this." Okay, but Doc, if you do not put people in office, and I'm not even talking about presidential type things. I'm talking from where you live. Like you said, those people who are going to decide property taxes, you know, those people who are going to allow businesses, and particularly when it comes to medical, if they're not going to look out for your best interest, and why so many people come to Florida and retire, and then what follows them, all kinds of doctors and assistant living homes, man, assistant living homes and nurseries, health care provide are popping up everywhere. One of the big things that I've seen an awful lot of is this quote unquote urgent care, and I guess there are other things like them. And I hope I'm not trying to put a bad mark on urgent care, because if it's better than going to the emergency room when you don't have insurance, or if it's closer to you and you don't have to wait in the lobby, that might be a great thing. But you have so many of these things that's dealing with medical issues because it's a known thing. Even a car, as they say, you can gas it and oil it, but at some point the tire is going to wear out. Yeah,
Especially the longer you keep it and the older the car becomes.
yeah.
You
Hey,
got to start replacing parts. You need, and it's the same as with your body. A lot of people get knee replacement, hip replacements, stents in the heart, cholesterol's high. It's a lot of things, that are going up. Heart disease is off the chain. It's and the food that they're giving us is just full of crap. They just profit. And like, shame on you if you don't know what you're eating. But as long as they make it taste good, then people just like eat it up. But when you get ready to retire, you got to consider that. So that's why the Henderson Financial Group, we don't just do investment planning. We really, really do a lot of retirement planning, because for the first time, James, in the history of America, there are going to be more older people than younger people on the planet. Believe it or not. Yeah, man. I mean, in America, I mean, people are living longer. I mean, my mom just died August of 85 years old. She was tickle pink. She is nowhere in the world she would have bet when I remember when she was 40 years old. She said, "Boy, I'm old. I'm old." And she was 20 years older than me, and I was 20. And she said she was old. And her mother died at 62. It was most people, I'm telling you, man. And the longer you live, the more money you need, because you got to keep providing, and then, getting Social Security or getting a pension or whatever is good. But a lot of people don't have that pension. A lot of people, because a lot of the companies got rid of those pensions and give you 401ks. When they give you 401ks, that means you're on your own. You better manage your money. And a lot of people, when they get ready to retire, they want to show out for their friends. It's amazing. People that are like 60 years old still want to show out for their cohorts, their friends. And when you retire, then they want to go buy a house, and then they want to get this fancy car to show the people that's not retired, "Hey, look at me, I'm retired and I got a car." You got a lot of debt. You got a lot of debt. Yeah, you did it backwards. When you retire, especially if you don't have little kids running around, you're supposed to cut it thin, man. You're supposed to be like, "Hey, I don't need that much. All the money that I'm getting, I'm gonna spend on me. I'm gonna take me a cruise. Why would you go pay for another house and pay for taxes and insurance? Why would you retire and talking about you want to go get a car so you can show out in front of your friends?" That's ego. That's really, really tripping. I'm telling you, man, because let me tell you, every year they come out with a new car. Every year. There's never been a time And y'all know these years go by fast. There's never been a time where they didn't have new cars coming out each year. I mean, every brand. There's no brand that they don't have a new model next year and 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 next year. So if you don't have it this year, you can get it 5 years from now. You say, "No, I want to get it now." Okay, you get it now. Maybe you're gonna die tomorrow. Okay, that's a good deal. Maybe you get it now, you're gonna die next year. Okay, at least you. But what if you get it now? You're gonna live for another 20 years. Now you got an old car. Now you got to do it all over again. It's come on, you got to get off this treadmill. It's a never-ending story.
Robert,
And that leads me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that reminds me of something that I was told. Most people think the more I save, the better I am. But really, as you say, the less you spend, the more you can save.
Oh yeah.
And the more you can invest if while you're working.
Man, if people look back at all the money that they blown, they'll all be millionaires. I mean, almost everybody can look back and say, "Man, I really blowed that." I really shouldn't have spent that money on that. It wasn't worth it. I mean, it really, really, a lot of people can look back and you have those regrets. But when you do that, it's not for naught. It's supposed to be learning. You're supposed to say, "Okay, don't do that again." Now you know not to do it again. They ain't gonna trick you. They tricked you last time. All of us have been tricked. All of us have been fooled. Most of us have made bad decisions, but then you get a do-over. Now you're supposed to capitalize off that do-over and not do it again. You can't continue to do it again because they call it crazy. And that leads me up to the conversation that I want to talk about mainly today is term insurance, TERM, term life insurance. And let's talk about that for a minute, James, because a lot of people fall victim to that. I fell victim to it. You fall victim to it. Everybody listening has fell victim to staying too long with term insurance. Term insurance. As a matter of fact, the reason why I'm talking about it today because I just started working on my book. I'm working on this book for little black boys and little black girls, because people really need to understand financial literacy. I mean, real financial literacy, understanding how the system works. The things that you need. It's okay to send your kids to college, but they go to college, get a master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and they still don't know what a mortgage is. They don't know what property taxes is. They really don't understand how banks make their money. They don't understand real estate. They don't understand investments, bonds, or annuities. They definitely don't understand, retirement accounts. They don't understand. So I'm writing this book for young black boys and young black girls so you can get your money right and you can understand. And I'm writing it in a way as if I was back there young again. I'm 65, but I'm going back and saying, young Robert. This is what I would tell young Robert. And I want to start off with this term insurance because term insurance, when you're young and those of y'all who, my age or older or whatever, I want you to think about your kids because I want you to share this with them. And I want you to talk to, and if you're young, I want you to think about yourself. When you're young and you're still home, when I was 16 years old, 17 years old, I was working at the, a bag boy or something. I had no responsibility. I didn't have any kids. I was home. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. I didn't need, my mom had life insurance on me, but I didn't have the life insurance. I didn't have no dependents. I was good. I thought I was going to live forever. But when I got my real job working at CBS Channel 4, and when you started, I was a graphic artist because I studied architecture right out of high school. When I graduated June 1976, I was 17 years old. So when I started college, Miami-Dade North Campus, I was studying architecture, and the professor liked my drawing so much, he told a friend of his that was the art director at CBS Channel 4, he said, "Hey, I got a guy here that's very talented, black guy," and he really said that because I was the only white black person in the whole class, and they said he's really talented, and CBS Channel 4, they needed a part-time graphic artist to draw drawings and stuff like that for television. And I went and they hired me. And that was my first encounter with relationships, knowing somebody, because I would walk through the door, they would never hire my black self. But Mr. Hennett, Jewish guy, white, told another Jewish guy who was a art director about me, and bam, I was in. And I'm in my book that I'm writing, I'm mentioning these things about relationship. I got a whole chapter that's on how powerful relationships. We're going to talk about that today. Today, I'm going to say, so when I started working at CBS Channel 4, first thing you want to do is get benefits. They give you the benefit to go to the HR department. Okay, you're gonna sign up for this program, or put your money away, savings, and then you get group term. Group term is good because see, group term, you don't, even if you fat, got all kind of out of shape or whatever, when you join with the company, you get a pass because you don't have to take a physical. And a lot of us listening to me, y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all started working for any company, any business, I'm not talking about a small business, but big companies, the state of Florida or the state or the county or whatever, or any municipality, they'll give you group coverage. Group coverage means you don't have to go out there and take a blood and urine test. You just sign up and, hey, whatever you're making $50,000 and you got one time $50,000. If you die on the job, bam, they're going to pay off. But you're young. You're young. That's why they don't make you take blood and urine. That's why they don't do an exam, because you're young. And think about it. The insurance industry is so smart. They may have 1 million people that are 21 years old, and they'll cover for $50,000 on a group term. You don't have to take they don't have to see if you're about to die, if you got cancer, because it's a numbers game. Because if they got 1 million people, this insurance company that covered 1 million 21-year-olds, they already have the statistical data every year. What is the probability of all 1 million people dying and they got to pay $50,000? They already know. They got it down to a science. So they'll say, okay, we got 1 million people that's 21 years old in this group policy amongst different companies. And then what they say is, we know that out of 1 million people, we know 30 are going to die each year. So we're going to insure each of them, let's say for $50,000. So that's 30 people, $50,000. So that's 1.5 million. Okay. So it'll be 15 million maybe. Okay. So when they say that, but they're collecting $100 million. So that's why they don't really care if 30 million die. And that's why you don't need to take no insurance, because they collecting 100 million. And if 30 people die, which the data says, they still in the clear. So, but the problem is with all of us, when we start working at these jobs, we got group term and we was covered and we were young and we were vibrant. The problem with term insurance is staying too long. Darn it. We stayed too long. It was so cheap. And we just kept on. So we was 21 years old. And next thing you know, we was 31 years old. And we might have had some problems in between that. But guess what? We had life insurance on our job, group term. So now we're 31 years old. Now we're 41 years old. Okay. So we've been on the job 20 years and we still have group term. We ain't got to get no fit. So we got some problems, whatever. But now we've been 21. Now we're 41. We good. Now we 51 years old. We've been 30 years on the job and we still got that group term. We don't own any on private, personal life insurance. We don't have it. And they don't tell us about it. So we all have it. And then next thing you know, we're 61 years old. And matter of fact, we might have changed jobs, whatever, and got another company and got their benefits. Now we're 61 years old. And now we're 62 and we say, listen, we're going to retire. Now you retire. When you retire that group term and you didn't die, it disappears. Boom, it's gone. And from age 21 to 62, you probably, some of y'all lucky, some of y'all have no illnesses, some of y'all stayed trim, healthy, but a lot of y'all got fat, a lot of y'all had bypasses, a lot of y'all had heart conditions, a lot of y'all got a whole lot of issues, you know what I mean? Had a stroke, mini stroke, whatever, but your health is not that good, plus you older and you almost dead. So now you retire. When you retire, you have no coverage and you are older. If somebody would have said, hey, wait a minute, even though you're 21, 25 years old with this group plan, you need to have something of your own. God bless your child that got his own. Get a little side policy that gonna build up some cash value, life insurance, but when you get it young, it's very cheap. And now when you're 65 years old, you have a lot of cash in there and it's permanent. No one said that, James.
No one told us.
No one told us. No one told us. And guess what? I'm 65. No one told me when I was 21. And guess what? Right here today, 2024, no one is still telling the children. They're still not telling the young people. They still not. History has continued to repeat itself. Still booby trapping. Still booby trapping over and over and over.
So tell them, Rob, tell that 21-year-old that 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Tell them what they should be doing, even though they think they've got a good job
And benefits.
and benefits. Hey, what should they be doing?
Okay, when you young and you still vibrant, even though you got that company benefit, and especially a lot of kids right now, they ain't working on no one job for 30 years. They're like, you crazy? They're like, man, I'm gonna be doing this. I ain't gonna be on this job. So especially them kind, you get the benefits from the company, the group term, the group benefits, but you got to get your own. When you get your own, you take it and it's your private insurance. It's yours. And then if you need to get term because term is cheap, the problem with having cheap term is it's temporary insurance. The older you get, the more it costs, because the older you get, the more it costs. There's a lot of people that come to me, James. They come to the Henderson Financial Group. They're 70 years old. They had that term insurance for 30 years. Buy term and invest the rest. They bought term because it was cheap, low hanging. By the time you get 70, that insurance policy gonna triple, quadruple, gonna go up so much, you're gonna say, oh my God, I cannot pay these premiums. They went up. They look like they're low right now because you're paying a little bit. But when you get a certain age, if you look at the policies and read the fine print, it will say at age 70, if you're still alive, all your premiums gonna triple, double, and they're gonna go up not just one time. Every year they're gonna go up until you say, I can't afford this, and you say no more, and you stop paying. When you stop paying, you neck it. And now you don't have no insurance, and now you have to go get a GoFundMe, and everybody got to try to take collection when Big Papa, Big Mama die. It's the same thing happening over and over and over. Children, parents, tell your 21-year-old, your 25-year-old, 30-year-old, call the Henderson Financial Group. And even if you don't call the Henderson Financial Group, you got to get a permanent policy. Now, the best ones I would say would be I heard somebody marketing it, an Index Universal Life, an IUL. I heard them marketing it as a tax-free retirement. They ain't even mention this. They ain't even mention the word insurance. They say, hey, if you want a tax-free retirement, call me. In other words, that's a nickname for life insurance. Okay. But they just entice you by saying, if you want a tax-free retirement, get a cash value life insurance. And mainly talking about an Index Universal Life. And you can design what premium you want to pay. If you want to pay $100 a month or $500 a month. The good thing about it is it's safe and you have access to the money and it's a savings, but it gives you permanent life insurance. And the thing about the Index Universal Life, that permanent life insurance that protects you, it don't just protect you in death. It protects you also. It has components in there that says if you have a stroke, a heart attack, disabled, a long-term care benefits in it, a whole lot of stuff that comes along with it. It's like a Swiss Army knife. So it's way better than just death insurance. You got to, only way you can benefit if you die. I use my Index Universal Life to put money to borrow against it, to buy real estate, even buy stocks. That's how it's so much creativity that you can use with the new Jack Index Universal Lives, but you have to call us, Henderson, call us at 305-825-1444, and we'll tell you more about it. But I'm writing, that's a part of my book about the blueprint for little Black boys and girls so they can understand the system, money, and not continue to follow the same trap that they continue to give us, and we don't learn from our mistakes. You got to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from what happened. I'm living this. I'm in the financial service field. So I made mistakes. I had term. When I left Channel 4, then I went and got $1 million life insurance. I think I was paying like $300 a year. That was cheap for $1 million. And James, when I got it, I said, okay, my personal policy, $300 a year, $1 million. I had 2 small kids. That was Hyacinth and my firstborn, Robert. I mean, it's 2 and 4 years old. So I got $1 million coverage, and it was term insurance, and it was a 10-year term. So I said, okay, in the next 10 years, I'm gonna make a lot of money, and I won't need no life insurance, but if I die, $1 million gonna be left to my kids. James, 10 years went by so fast. I still was here.
Hey, the
insurance company,
The insurance company said, "We win. We win."
The insurance company said, "We win. Bets off. You still alive. You didn't die." And I'm like, you know what? I wasn't even trying to die, insurance company. Is that how it is? So now the term is up. So all the money I gave y'all since I ain't died, I lose. Yeah. They say, you want to go again for another 10 years? I said, yeah, I think I'm gonna be alive. And they said, we hope you be alive. So we ain't gotta pay that. We win again, you know. So James, I hadn't made a lot of money then, so I did another 10 years. I think this time it was like, $600 a year. I'm like, okay, for $1 million, okay, go for 10 years, $600 a year. That's another $6,000 in 10 years if I didn't die. And I didn't die. And I'm like, oh, so 20 years went by. And I'm 20 years older. So I could not get it for another 6. Man, they was jacking. And so I said, hold on. I see y'all. I see how y'all playing. Y'all keep on moving the goalposts. I ain't dead. And long as I'm not dead, y'all making money. And I don't have no savings in this plan. It's just like renting. I said, man, y'all. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna die soon because I got a lot of stuff to do. God got me. I got a lot of stuff to do. So I said, let me find out about this permanent stuff. And then when the permanent stuff, I said, whoa, Lord, look how much that permanent stuff costs. See, the permanent stuff costs more. Life insurance costs more than the term. That's by design. In this book I'm writing, I got a chapter on do what's hard first. If you do what's hard first, I promise you later on, boy, it's gonna be easy.
Woo, Rob. See, repeat, Rob. Like Rob Henderson say that again.
In the book that I'm writing, I got a chapter on the key to life is do the hard things first. Then later, the hard things become so easy and you have a better life. You got to do this. Think about this, what I'm saying. This is nature, what I'm talking about. This is biblical, what I'm talking about. Think about what I'm saying. There is nowhere in life the good God, the Creator, didn't make it where people that did easy things got rewarded. What Jesus did was hard on that cross. That was hard. So to save a lot of people, hold up. If you with that story, that was hard. Most people said, nah, don't pick me. I know if God would say, Rob, I want you to play Jesus. No, get James. No, God, I'm with you, but I ain't gonna play Jesus. God, get James T. He can do it. No, that's hard. Let me tell you something. In life, you gotta understand it's a booby trap if you always go for the easy stuff. Term life is easy. It's cheap. You know they got something waiting for you or hoodwink you later. But as you get older, you're supposed to realize that when you're young, you don't see it because you want everything easy. You want all the sugary candy and everything. You ain't thinking about diabetes. You ain't thinking about them cavities. You just want to taste good. You know what I mean? So as you get older, you start saying, hold on, wait a minute. I see what they doing now. I see how they playing this. Do what's hard. Think about it. If you want to make a lot of money, I promise you, anybody that's making a lot of money, they're not doing what is considered easy stuff. They're doing very difficult stuff. An engineer makes more money. He's not sweeping the floor. I'm telling you. A heart surgeon, that ain't easy. Therefore, ching, he's going to get paid more. Y'all got to think about what I'm saying. If y'all sending y'all kids to college to be a social worker, that ain't hard. They ain't going to make a lot of money. And the cost of living, they ain't going to be able to have a prosperous life. You probably going to be making more than them. I'm telling you, you got to figure out. You got to do what's hard and difficult. When you do what's hard and difficult, you ain't got a whole lot of competition because people say, man, that's too hard. That's why they pay the quarterback more money than anybody because he got to stand back there and get his whole head always knocked off and he got to take them hits. They pay him a lot of money. They pay the receivers on the football a lot of money. Run down, running, get up and run again and get up and run again, then jump and get hit. They get paid more money than the kicker because the kicker don't never get hit. He just go out there and kick the ball. He don't get the most money unless he's some field goal kicking ain't never missed. Now but everybody can't do that. Everybody can't make every field goal. So maybe he
60 yarders. 60
yarders. Now, again, I want y'all to associate with hard reward. Easy, not a big reward. That's why when they scamming y'all, telling y'all on social media, you can do this to make money. You can do this. You can trade stocks to make money. Send me $5,000. You could do all this. Come on. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. They're just taking your money. They know you're not going to study and read that stuff. Studying and becoming good at something requires a lot of discipline and understanding. And it always takes time.
Woo, and
when you get a term life insurance, it's easy. It ain't take no time. You pay the money, you cover. But I tell you something, as you keep living, you're going to be paying more if you keep that term. Term insurance is okay temporarily, but the problem is most grown-ups that I see stay too long with term. Term is like being on the turnpike, going, you're on your destination, and you got to pee. You got to go in and use the restroom. You go inside temporarily. Don't stay inside the turnpike. Don't stay overnight. Don't stay overnight and sleep 5 days. You still at the turnpike rest stop. No, that's like term. Term is temporarily. And then you say, okay, I got to get going. Because the older you get, the more term it's going to slap you. Because a lot of people call me Mr. Henderson. I had a term in life insurance. I'm 70 years old. I have a term life insurance. I used to pay $1,000 a year. Now they want $15,000 a year. And I can't pay it. I said, well, if you do pay it, they ain't gonna stop there. This year is $15,000. Next year it's gonna be $17,000. And if you still pay that, then next year it's gonna be $24,000. They have the right to keep going up until you say no more. Okay. And guess what? All the money you pay, if you ain't die, you lose. It's a loser's game. But it's okay temporary. Temporary. I mean, a lot of us done had apartments, temporarily. But if you got an apartment because you don't want to buy a house and you saving money, you better be saving your money. You can't have an apartment and spending all your money, because as you get older, the apartment gonna cost more. And you could get an apartment for $200 a month. Now, how much is rent now? A 1-bedroom in Miami, man, is $2,000, $2,500. You know what I mean? So if you ain't saved that money, it's like term insurance. When you get older, you're gonna be jacked. They're going to have to take up a GoFundMe or put you in a box somewhere. And you don't want that for your pride and your ego. Okay?
Rob, get that $850 package that they do for cremation. That's what's about that. Rob, that's about to be a big business.
What,
when our people learn that you can get a package for $850 and have the service in the same building of the cremation. Hey, Mark, watch it, Rob. Watch out.
It is.
Because that $10,000 policy that they had on whoever, mama, grandmama, whatever.
No, that ain't enough now. Because them funerals costing $25,000, $30,000 now to bury somebody. But bury him, it's more money to bury him than when he was alive.
Rob, that's why I'm telling you. We are advertising now an $850 package. That's with the funeral and everything. So wow. you know what them children are gonna say. Ooh, wait a minute. We can get an $850 package, and we can get that other
cremation, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And Big Mama say, "Don't burn me. I don't want to be burnt up in heaven. Don't burn me. Everybody ain't going for that burning now. You better save your money." Okay, right. So what I don't like about listen. The only thing I don't like about term, well, there's several things I don't like about term, even though I had term for the first 20 years. Because it was cheap, I hadn't amassed wealth yet, and I needed to be covered. But by the time I was 40 years old, maybe about 45, I got enlightened. I had an epiphany. I seen the insurance. I was getting older, I wasn't planning on dying, and it was costing more. So I thank God I had this component in that insurance policy that said it could be converted into a permanent policy. Listen to what I'm saying. Those of you all out there that have term insurance, the longer you wait, the older you get, the more it's going to cost you. That's the way the insurance game is. So you have to look at your term insurance policy or call up and ask, can I convert this term policy to a permanent policy now? And they say, well, you got 10 more years. And say, no, I want to do it now because 10 more years, I'm going to be older and it's going to cost me more to convert it. To convert term is like renting a house with the option to buy. You're renting it, but now you got your money, you want to buy it. You like the place. So if term insurance, if you can convert it to a permanent policy, that's good. But before you do that, you got to call the insurance company and say, how much will it cost me per month or per year to convert this to a permanent insurance where I start building some cash value? If I need some money in emergency, I can get it. That's the question you want to ask. I just had a gentleman who just turned 71. And he had a term life. They got him on buy term and invest the rest. Let me tell you about that. That sounds good. And even y'all hear Dave Ramsey saying, just buy term insurance. In a perfect world, that would work. But we're not in a perfect world. And let me tell you what Dave Ramsey basically saying, buy term and invest the rest. If you buy term, let's say if it costs you $1,000 a year, that same policy, if you want it to be a permanent policy, may cost you $3,000 or $4,000 a year. So most people will pick the one that's cheapest. Okay, so if you do that and you stay and you buy the perm, you buy the term insurance, temporary rent insurance, and you're only paying $1,000 a month for the $1 million coverage, that extra money that you would have been paying, $3,000 or $4,000, you're supposed to invest that. In theory, that sounds like a good plan. In theory, all of us supposed to say our prayers, go to school, listen to the teacher, not get in trouble, be responsible, buy a home, go to college, get married, retire, and have a wonderful life. In theory. But y'all know that ain't happening for everybody. So when you say buy term and invest the rest, that sounds good. But in actuality, they have the data. They have the x-ray. They have the report. People not doing that. They buying term and they spending the rest.
Spending the rest.
Time. They going on cruises. It's just human nature. So to tell people all you got to do is do the right thing and you'll have a good life. If that was so, you wouldn't have no need for jails and prisons. They all heard it. Don't think everybody in jail and prison, they just haven't heard you shouldn't steal. They heard it. They heard it. So and the way things ought to be and the way things are different. So when you say buy term and invest the rest, man, you got to be a hell of a disciplined person to do that.
I was waiting to tell you, Rob, that brings about discipline.
You got to be committed.
And more than that, it probably brings about guidance and counsel.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And most people don't want to be told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
And that's the truth. That's happening, James, what you're saying. And they know that. So to tell people, buy term and invest the rest, people ain't doing it, man. People having a good time. They buying term like I did when I was 21, 22 years. It was cheap. I didn't want to put no money into no life insurance. But if somebody would have talked to me and said, listen, do it while you're young, because if you get it while you're young, it's cheaper and it won't go up. The price won't go up. And the more money you put in there, after 10 years, when you get a permanent policy, the first 10 years is the hardest part. I want to say it again. Anybody that's listening to me and you bought a family bank from us, if you bought any life insurance from us, an IUL, Index Universal Life, it's not going to work for you until you walk the walk. You have to show that you can commit for the first 10 years, because that 11th year is graduation. oh man, that thing gonna take off. And you're gonna look back and say, now I see why I did that. You won't be able to see the truth until after 10 years. And most people, that's too hard because most people want gratification instantly. And that's the problem. And that's the problem. That's why a lot of people don't believe in a God, because they can't see it. And let me tell you something. What you cannot see is the most powerful thing that you can imagine. What you cannot see, not what you can see, what you cannot see. That's what's coming. That's what's about to happen. Y'all don't see the new blockbuster movies that's coming out in the summer. Just because you don't see it, don't think they ain't working on it. Y'all don't see them new cars that's coming out. Just because you don't see it, don't mean they ain't working on it. I'm telling you, all the good stuff, you can't see it now. But that don't mean they putting it together. That don't mean some of y'all doing wrong, scamming. Y'all don't see they investigating you, but they coming to arrest you. Y'all don't see it, so y'all feeling real good, but they coming. Just because you don't see it don't mean it ain't happening.
Come on.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. Amen, Rob. It says, if all you can see is what you see, then what you can't see is unseen.
That's right.
Doesn't mean it's not there, but
right.
You just can't see it.
If you kind of use your eyes to see it, then that means you really can't see.
Boom. And there's more to it, but that's going to a realm that we don't want to get out of. We don't want to get out of this natural realm where we use these five senses to take care of all of our problems, knowing that behind the scenes, there's another realm, but we won't get into that. We wait for Sunday to get into that one. But Rob, as you made a real note of telling the young people what they should do, now tell us what we should do now that we're beyond that 21, finding first a situation where you can't afford term and you're on probably Social Security and that retirement plan. What should we be doing now?
Okay, so you gotta have some coverage. You gotta have some protection. Unless if you love somebody, if somebody love you and you love them, when you're gone, it's gonna cost, because that's a business. Dying is a big business, and if you ain't put some money away to cover that, then you're gonna leave some hardship on your family. You really are. And if you don't care, you don't care. If you don't care, you don't care. But if you do care, and if you don't want nobody to do you like that, or if you've experienced that hardship, then you want to make provisions of that. But you don't have to just put money away for dying. When you save money in certain type of insurances, you have access to that money while you're alive. And it's pretty good. So if you wait too long, I want you, if you have term insurance, I want you to call the Henderson Financial Group so we can see if we can convert it to a permanent policy, one that's manageable, one that you can afford. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to do. And a lot of people, man, if you stay too long, especially by the time you're 70 years old, you can't listen. By the time you're 70 years old, they won't let you convert it. Like I was just saying, I had a guy that called me last week, and he had term insurance, and I said, let's look at it, because now you're 71, and he said he got a notice last year that they told him about converting, but he didn't understand it. So I called and said, listen, why don't we talk to the insurance company and see, can you still convert it? Because you had this thing for 30 years. And they said, absolutely not. So his premium was going to, I think he was paying like $4,000 a year, and his premiums was going to $25,000 a year. So he couldn't afford that. He's retired now. He felt real bad because the agent that sold it to him wasn't around anymore. A lot of you all that buy those term policies, they're good for the agent, because the agent don't care about 20. Agent said they ain't gonna know you in 20 years. They may be out of the business. They're just trying to get a commission. They're not full service financial planners like we've been doing this over 30 years, 37 years I've been in the business. So I've seen the beginning and the end. I walked the walk with clients, and I've seen that. As a matter of fact, I had clients when I first got in the business, I didn't know any better. I was buying term for myself, and I bought term for them. And then when their term came up, because they was older than me, oh my God, that's when I got enlightened. I said, it's going to happen to me too? Oh Lord, let me switch over and let me start telling people what's ahead of them. So I'm telling you all now, If you got a term insurance and you've just been paying for 20, 30 years, that's not a good policy because it's going to end and all your money going to just evaporate and you're not going to have any coverage. So you got to look at it right now. Now, if you don't have any coverage and you're less than 70 years old, even if you over 70 years old and you're relatively healthy, call the Henderson Financial Group and we can get a plan for you, an affordable plan that's going to be permanent and it's going to be level and not going to keep going up every year. Okay. We can get you in as long as you don't have cancer, you're about to die. An insurance company can look at you and say that you're not doing things to kill yourself.
Then they will do an examination, correct?
They have to do an examination when you get a certain age. And they'll look in something called a Medical Information Bureau. The MIB, you can't hide it. James, if they told you, if you went to the doctor and the doctor say you need the operation, and they put that inside of the notes, which goes into the MIB, it's like a credit bureau, but it's a medical bureau that lets all insurance companies know that you went to that doctor and he said you need to have a surgery and you ain't had it and it's been 2 years. Now all of a sudden you won't come to me and you say, Rob, I want to get life insurance. And then I said, okay, let's get you $500,000 life insurance. The insurance company, they're going to look in the MIB, the Medical Information Bureau, and they're going to see that 2 years ago, your doctor told you need to have surgery. And they're going to say, we're not giving him no coverage until he had that surgery. Yeah, man, it's a business. And they all watch each other. It's like I said, it's like credit, like the credit bureau. When you go to a pharmacist and you get a prescription filled, that's going in the Medical Information Bureau. So you can't say that you're not on your application. I don't have any high blood pressure. When they see at Walgreens last month, you got your high blood pressure prescription filled. They say you're a liar already because you just say you on your app you don't have no high blood pressure, you don't have no diabetes, you don't have no cholesterol. But we see right here at Walgreens or CVS, you just had a prescription filled for all three of that. So you're lying, you're unethical, so that's not good. When you get ready to fill out an insurance application, just tell the truth because they already know. It's like the feds. They already know before they ask you. They already know when they check it out. They're going to check you out. They're not going to insure you when you know you half dead and they're going to put $1 million on you. No, that's fraud. And they know a lot of people try to get away with fraud. If you come to Henderson Financial Group and you just say, listen, I got diabetes, type 1 or type 2, whatever. You know what? We just got somebody insured to have lupus. Yeah. Let me tell you something. You would think if somebody have lupus, no, that's not true. Some insurance company they'll take you, especially if you're taking care of yourself. If they look in the Medical Information Bureau and see what the doctor says, they get a report from the doctor, you good. And there's nothing more feeling better when your life is insured. Ain't it true, James? When you got coverage,
no question.
That's pseudo armor. You feel, you're okay, but the loved ones that you have, if all of a sudden God have you give up the ghost and you just drop dead, they ain't gonna be scuffling. That's a good feeling if you love somebody. But if you don't love nobody, I understand.
Right. And the other part about this is we looked at the 21, we're looking at the older, the 70s and other. But now what it should be is a bing, 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 bing to all those people between 21 and 60.
Yes.
Yes. And if you're in good health, you should be making these decisions now, not waiting until, I think I'm going to need some insurance.
Exactly.
And here's the other thing that I preach this all the time. Don't just think about yourself. Think about others, that whether you love them or not. Come on. We always.
It's kind of hard to think about them, James. You don't love them. It's kind of hard to think about them if you don't love them.
But Rob, what did we say? Do the hard things. Because first of all, the reason you're going through hell is because you don't forgive people who giving you hell. But if you could get to the point that you can forgive those people who are giving you hell, guess what? You'll be blessed. And you don't have to get all the money, but you can have some peace of mind and you won't be blocking your blessings. Hey, a part of what we're supposed to do here, if we know who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is, hey, we're not here to talk about, hey, look at me. No, we're here to say, hey, what can I do for Robert? What can Robert do for me? What can we do for others? Hey, come on, man. If we don't wake up to that, then we still in that natural realm. Gimme. I'm gonna grab all I can and I'm gonna can all I get. No, come on, man. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Rob, if it don't change, believe me, the day will come when you will have need and nobody will be there to help you.
that's right. That's right. That's right. I tell you, man, if y'all did not register anything I said on this show today, please register this. Do the things that appear to be hard to do. If you do the things that appear very hard, that requires discipline, I promise you, the only thing that you have to get past is TIME, because every day it gets easier. It gets easier every month. And when it comes to really building assets and true wealth, it takes about 10, 11 years to really start to see something. The problem is 95% of people want something quick and now. And that's a sucker's play. You can't build wealth like that. It just doesn't. Wealth needs to be able to germinate like roots in a tree. You can't build a solid tree that's going to withstand the hurricane and withstand the weather if it got some shallow roots. The tree only been planted last month. I've been planted a year ago. Oh, that hurricane come, that tree gone. It has to be deeply rooted, which means time. You can't make the roots go down there in 1 year. It takes time, 20 years. Let me tell you something. I'm wealthier now than I was 20 years. Some things I've done 20 years ago is just now coming to fruition. Oh, Lord, come on.
What a beautiful thing, right, Rob?
What? That is a beautiful thing. But the sucker bet is now. I'm telling you, do what's hard. And if you don't believe me, all I want y'all to do is look around, think about life. Think about why do they pay a surgeon so much money? Because think about it. When you do the things what's hard, you know ain't a whole lot of competition. Everybody ain't in line to do the hard things. People in line to do the easy things. People, come on. Think about it. And you get rewarded. So when you do what's hard, you always get rewarded. Listen, if you a man and you got Juicy Lucy, Juicy Pussy, Juicy, you got 10 different women, that's easy. But TIME, time. You had them, you was a playboy. You was Billy D when you was young. You keep being Billy D, now you 70 years old. You ain't got all them women no more. And that money is gone. And now you ain't got nobody to wipe your snot. You ain't got nobody to help you. I'm telling you, man, because it was easy. But if you do what's hard, dealing with that wife, you've been with her 30 years. Man, you done went through menopause. You a bad man. You know who she is. At least you know what she did. You trust her. She ain't gonna steal your money. She in there with you. You've been 30 years. That's good stuff, man. That took a long time.
Take a long time.
Take a long time.
Hey, right.
Amen. Let the church say amen. Amen. We definitely need some help now, huh?
Hey, we want to thank everybody. Well, you might want to give a shout out to those who have
Carol Miller,
checked in on the chat.
We got Carol Miller. Let the church say amen. Carol Miller. We got Miss Liddy Mae. Miss Vickers, I'm gonna take care of you. I got you. I got you back. We'll talk later on. And who we got there? Joe Witherspoon, him and his wife, Joanne, and then we got Parnell Victor P. Now Parnell Victor, boy, he knows that brother that been riding with me a long time. He done everything I'm talking about. That's why he said the best advice, because this guy knows over 20 years. Courtney Kane, what's up, my brother from another mother? Courtney, him and his wife, I just seen them, good people. Mr. and Mrs. Redhead, we got good morning to you all. We got Joseph Caravel, good morning. We got Helen Lee, we got Denise Ward. I'm telling you, man, y'all know what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, if you do, tell your children, stop doing the easy stuff. And that stuff on the internet talking about get rich quick. You know, if anything say get rich quick and it's easy, all you could do, let me tell you something. It's a trap. It's a trap. because anything that's worth having takes dedication and it takes commitment. So you got to be able to do that first. First, you got to be able to commit yourself and be disciplined and do what's hard, because most people can't even do that. Okay. So that's the prerequisites. That's what's required in order to build wealth. All right. But James,
Okay.
we definitely need some prayer, man, because I went
Well,
off today. I hope people learned something today. You think they
I'm
learned
sure.
anything?
Oh, no question, Rob, because and I think it helps people, not just to help themselves, but to help others. That I'm just I just love doing that. Well, we love doing that. Because it blows people's mind when you can share information or whatever it is that you can do for somebody else, Rob, and you never really know, where that person is going to be. I probably, maybe I've said that here before, but someone once said, our legacy will be all the people that we will touch in a lifetime. All the people that we think about that. If you've helped somebody, wow. I mean, I just believe that it'll come around and you'll be blessed because of it. So this information, I passed it on to friends while we were on air this morning, Rob. I wanted people to listen because we have children, and if we don't teach them, if we haven't learned in our 70 years on this earth, and we don't tell anybody else what we've learned or share with them, then hey, I think we're to blame when our young people come up and they feel as though I can live for the weekend, I can spend all that I earn, and I got this $5,000 credit card, and I can max it out, and I can pay that little, as you say,
Minimum.
that little minimum fee where only $1, $2 is going to principal. Yeah, and Rob, and they don't know that.
They don't know it.
Most
Yeah.
people do not know that when you pay that minimum.
Because
I remember, I remember the first air
they don't know
conditioner.
because they can't even think nobody would do that to them.
Rob, I remember when my brother and I were in college and we got I got the apartment. He stayed with me. We stayed together while attending college. And when I saw that I had spent $200 for a window air conditioner and looked at whatever the monthly payment was, 20 something or 30 something dollars, whatever it was, and $1 was going to principal, which meant
The
I had
rest of us
on
interest.
time was interest. And
Interest
so
payment.
for that $200, it was going to be 200 payments. So that was going to be 200 months before. And I'm walking around, but I'm walking around with money in my pocket, being stupid because I did not know. So come on. Hey, Father God, we just humbly come before you. We thank you for those who will view this. We know that our blessings are stored up for us and for them. We must recognize that all the blessings that we're supposed to get is waiting for us to grow into that spiritual realm that will release it to us. But there's some things that we must do. So I ask that you would give us, as Rob has says this morning, give us those directions of doing those difficult things or things that appear to be difficult, because they're not difficult because you have strengthened us and you've given us knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to act on the principles that you have told us. If you will do this, I will give you abundant life. So we pray abundant life for all those that will hear this message and for those that they will reach out and share the message with. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let the church say amen. Hey, listen, if you guys need to listen to this again, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. I want you to go back and listen to it and study and listen to what I said. I want you all to look at those term life insurance. If you're still employed, you're going to leave there. You're going to retire and you don't want to be naked. And the older you get to wait to leave there and have no kind of coverage, the more it's going to cost you. So why are you employed? Why are you still working? If you're 40, 35, 40, 50 years old, then call the Henderson Financial Group and we can help you figure out a good plan in terms of coverage, life insurance, whether it's the family bank to help pay off your debt quicker, pay off your home quicker using life insurance strategies, or if it's an IUL, Index Universal Life, they can give you a whole has potential to make stock market gains with no stock market losses. And it gives you a whole plethora of different benefits that gives you living benefits, not just dying. But call the Henderson Financial Group and get a checkup. There's nothing wrong with getting a checkup. You should get a checkup. It doesn't cost you to get a checkup. Let's call us at 305-825-1444. I don't care where you are in the country. We got clients all over the country. We got them in New York, California, Dallas, Atlanta, Georgia, Minneapolis, Texas, Utah, Iowa. Yeah, we got clients there. Wisconsin. We got clients all over because, people are looking for good information, not just people that just want to take your money and get a commission or a fee off you, but give you some good sound financial planning, James. I just had a lady call me. I didn't make a dime off of it. And she said, listen, she needs some help with estate planning. And she thought, I need a trust. I need to live in trust. I need to live in trust. I said, hold on, wait. Before you see live in trust, let me talk to me. Let's have a conversation, she told me exactly what was the case. And I said, you don't need to spend $1,000 or $1,200 for a living trust. You need a ladybird deed. It's just you and your son. It won't cost you $100, $150 to get that ladybird deed and avoid probate. And when you die, the property just go directly to your son. That's it. She said, oh my God, I thought I needed trust. No, let's have a conversation.
Wow. We lean not to your own understanding. Multiple counsel is great. Seek counsel. Come on. Whatever you think you know, hey, ask somebody. Let them prove, yes, you to be right. And that's somebody who knows. Because you ask any, what you think? Oh, yeah, that's no problem. Come on. I heard.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's the worst. I heard.
Somebody told me. My cousin told me. Come on, man.
Yeah. I heard. There again. I heard is easy. What you didn't hear is what's good stuff. They always keep the good stuff locked up downstairs in the key. You can't see that. I'm telling you, all the good stuff is not easy accessible. This good stuff right here, I'm telling you, all the good stuff is not easy accessible. You have got to be proactive. You got to call 305-825-1444 for the good stuff. I'm going to say it again. You got to call 305-825-1444 to get the good stuff.
And tell other people to do the same.
And tell other people too, okay? And you can go to our website at www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. www, you got to put the in front of it. THE, Henderson, thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. And look at that and make an appointment, okay? We can do it on the internet. We can do it with the Zoom, or we could do it with the
FaceTime, anything. FaceTime,
whatever. You don't have to come to the office. Traffic, gas costs. We got clients all over, man. We can do conferences. Telephone conference. You don't want me to see you? We can do a conference call. Yeah, but here's help, so to speak. But you gotta be proactive. You gotta say, okay, I need some help. And you can't say you didn't know, because we know a lot of things that you didn't even know is on the planet. We know that. So help yourself and help your family. God bless you. James, you gonna give us a prayer?
I did.
Oh man, I feel like we need another one. All right. Thank you so much for the prayer. And you guys be safe.
Be blessed. That's my prayer. Be
blessed.
Know that you are blessed already. I'm telling you, people. Know that you are already blessed.
Know that you're already blessed. Call the Henderson Financial Group. You be blessed.